Hi, my name is Greg Perkins. I'm the instructor for this Math 3A online class. It's the fall of 2023. So the first thing to do is take a look at the syllabus. So I'm going to have office hours, that's in-person office hours on the main campus, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 11, and that's in the Rotarium. Let me just show you a map real quick. If you go to the main campus and if you were to park in the main structure, as you walk out, you would be looking right at Building M, and then that's where I have my office hours. So it's basically a big study room, and people can come and go as they please, and I can help you out, answer questions, help you with anything in the class. Also, since this is online, I can meet on Zoom. That'll be by appointment. You let me know when you want to meet, and then we can set something up. We got the email there, gperkins@hartnell.edu. Since this is an online class, the homework is going to be done online. So that's with My Math Lab. In the second half of this video, I'm going to explain more about My Math Lab. Right now, I just want to go over the syllabus and the basics about the class. So it would be a good idea to have a graphing calculator. Personally, I prefer the TI-84. So since this is an online class, you could use something like Desmos or something like that to do the graphing. I just find the TI-84 to be very handy, easy, and fast. Okay, so for each section, I've created a video explanation or video lecture. With the video lectures, I do make them shorter than in-person lectures. An in-person lecture would take, say, 45 minutes. With the videos, I try to keep it down to 15, sometimes it takes 20 minutes. And I'll show you where you find those in just a moment. So basically, let me just skip down to this part right here, the different types of work. So there's the My Math Lab homework that I mentioned. That's worth 20% of your grade. Also, there will be quizzes on My Math Lab, also 20% of your grade. There's problem sets and podcast problems that I've made up, and I will go into details in a moment on those. And then each week there's also a participation quiz. So basically the idea with the participation quiz is you go in to Canvas every Wednesday, or it's due by Wednesday. And at the beginning, it's just gonna be about, tell me about yourself, what's your major, things like that. And then I'll start asking math questions with those participation quizzes. But basically it's there, that way there's at least communication between us every Wednesday. All right, if you scroll down to the next two pages, these are all of the due dates for the whole semester. If you just look at the words real quick, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday. So basically I took all of the work and I broke it up so you have a little bit due on Monday, a little bit due on Wednesday, a little bit due on Friday, rather than pushing it off till the end of the week and then have a bunch of stuff due on one day. So it's every Wednesday when the participation quizzes are, and those are on Canvas. It's every Friday when the homework is due on My Math Lab. And then on Mondays, it's either going to be the problem sets or it's going to be the quizzes on My Math Lab. But if you look at the whole list, there's always something due on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, let's skip over to Canvas. So here's our class. There's the syllabus, that page that I just showed you with all the due dates. There's another copy of it right here. What's due and when is it due? Also with this, what I do is, okay, I haven't updated it. So it would have that list, and as we go through the things, then I take them off of the list. So once I update this, you would then be able to see right at the top of the list what's due next. So these are the problem sets that I talked about. The first one is algebra and trig review, basically things from algebra / pre-calculus and trig that I know that was supposed to be covered in previous classes, and I know that we're going to be using these things this semester, so this is some practice. So there's some trig equations to solve. Notice with the problem sets, there's 2 pages. Also notice that there's enough space that you can show your work in the space provided. I find the very best thing to do is print them out and then physically write on it with a pencil or a pen. Also make sure that you show all of, didn't mean to highlight all that. Make sure that you show all of your steps, because I'm grading not just the answer, but the actual work, the steps. So please make sure that you show all of your work. If you don't have a printer, or perhaps you prefer to use some type of tablet, that's fine. Just write in the space provided. And then no matter which way you do it, you will need to convert it to a PDF and then upload your work to Canvas. All right, let's go back to the home page. Okay, so the problem sets, all of them are right there. So that's all of them for the whole semester. Also, there's podcast problems, and podcast problems are basically the easiest points you'll ever get in a calculus class. So what I did is I made up these problems, and I basically thought of 2 examples per section, which you can see right here. And there's 2 examples from each section. I then made a video where I solved these, and basically just to prove that you watch the video, you write down the steps that I write down. Of course, if you want to challenge yourself, you don't have to watch the video. You could just work out the problems yourself. But you can also watch me solve these problems. Just go to YouTube, Hartnell College Math. Let me see. YouTube, Hartnell College Math. And there it is. So you would just look for Math 3A. There it is.
Hello and welcome to the podcast for Math 3A. I'm Greg.
And it automatically starts with number 1. So they're just in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. So with these videos and also with the lectures, I point the camera down so you don't see my face. You can come back and watch this video if you want to see my face again. But I found this is the best way because it concentrates on the math, and also anytime I need to use a calculator, I can just put the calculator down. You can see what's on the calculator. So all my videos are pointed down like that. Okay, back to... So there's the podcast problems. All right, let's go back to the home page once again. So if you scroll down, we start with chapter 2, and you could take a look at the notes. You could also watch the video lecture. So when I made the video lecture,
all right, here we go. The first section of calculus.
Yeah, I know. You just looked down at the bottom and saw that it's a 28-minute video when I said I tried to keep them short. Like I said, I tried to keep them short. All right. So anyway, you can watch these videos, and then the notes that I created as I did that, then I posted those right back here. So you can also take a look at the notes, or even print out the notes and then follow along with the lecture. Then there's also extra examples, and then these are not videos, but these are PDFs with just extra examples that, I've had students ask me, oh, what about this homework problem, etc. So I created these other PDFs where I work out those solutions. All right. So that's the basics of how the class works. All of the chapters, notes, and videos, they're all here already. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. For the problem sets, the one where I showed you, the first one was algebra and trig review. I also created videos with examples. And then I also put links to the podcast in here in case you don't want to have to type in YouTube/Hartnell College Math. There are direct links in here. And if you go down, then there's chapter 3, etc. The format is the same as it goes through the chapters. So the idea is that you would take a look at the notes of section 2.1, you would watch the video, and then you would be ready to do the homework. Okay, here we go. So now it's time for the second half of the video. Perhaps you want to take a break? Okay, that was a good break. And now we'll look at MyMathLab. So, in case you haven't used it before, you can just go to MyMathLab. Google knows what I'm talking about. And the company is Pearson. So you go to the MyMathLab. And then it's going to say sign in if you already have an account, or if you don't, then register as a student. And the next thing it's going to say is you need an email address. Okay, you need the course ID. So now just go back to the syllabus and go to the first page, and there's the course ID, Perkins 82337. I'll just copy that. Say, okay, I'm ready to register. And then you put that course ID in there. And now Pearson is smart enough to say, hey, Greg, you already have an account. Why don't you just sign in? So anyway, I can't continue with the registration process. But one important thing I want to say is when it goes to ask you for the money, which I believe, when they ask for the money, pick the cheaper one. I believe it's around $95. They'll try to sell you like a year-long program. You don't need that. So this class is only 16 weeks. I think 18 weeks is the smallest subscription, and that's last semester was $95. Okay, so once you've done that, then you'll be right here in Math 3A. So here are all the homework assignments. So not only are all the homework assignments here, but I labeled them the same as they are over here. So when you go to section 2.1, then it says secant lines and velocity. And when you go over here, to Pearson, it says section 2.1, secant lines, and tangent lines. Okay, so the wording's a little bit different, but same idea. So basically, they have the description right here. And then you're ready to do the homework. You say, you know what, I'm just going to jump in and start doing the homework. Question number 1. Now, one thing is, I've set it up so that you get 3 attempts for each one of these. So this one is very much like the problem that I was doing in section 2.1. And so you would work it out and you say, I got the answer, it's 23. Say, check that answer. No, that's not correct, of course, because I just guessed the number 23. And it says, by the way, here's the formula that you should use. So at this point, you could redo the problem. You get 3 attempts. You can also say, get more help. And with the get more help, sometimes this has more stuff and sometimes it has less stuff. The one thing that will always be there is ask my instructor. So if you want to ask me about the homework question, please make sure you use ask my instructor. Don't just email me and say in section 2.1, number 1, why do they have a 5x cubed? And then I open my section 2.1, number 1, and it's going to say 7x squared. So each time they generate the problems, they change the numbers just a little bit. So if you have a question on the homework, please say, ask my instructor, and that way it'll give me a copy of what you were looking at, and then you can put your question in here and send it to me. As far as getting back to the questions, of course, since I've got an iPhone, I get the questions all the time, try to answer them as soon as I can. I go from like 6 in the morning until probably around 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. I'll stop answering questions, and then I'll answer after 8 o'clock, I'll answer the next day. All right, so with Get More Help, you can also view an example. So it changed the numbers slightly, and then they're going to work it out step by step. So then you can follow their steps. Now, when I use this, which sometimes I do because students will ask me, why did they do this? And so I have to go in and look at their steps and see the way that they're doing it. And when I do, I put print. Not that I'm physically going to print it, but that way it gives me this page. with all of the steps, and then I can read all the steps and I don't have to keep hitting continue, continue, continue. So just a little thing that I like to use. So when you're done with that, then, see what I'm talking about? You have to, okay. Then you can retry the problem. You can also say, help me solve this, but help me solve this is very much like view an example. So when I say view an example, it changes the numbers a little bit and then it shows me the steps. And then I go back and redo my problem. If you say, help me solve this, they will show you the steps for this problem. And then when it says you're ready to do the question, it'll then change the numbers. The steps are going to be the same, but they will change the numbers. Okay, so that's the basics of the homework. Let me also show you, okay, I do want to leave that. I also want to show you, they have, I like this one, the multimedia library. So basically with this, you can say, okay, I'm on chapter 2, I'm on section 2.1, and I want to see everything that you guys have. And so then for each section, of course, these lists will be different. Sometimes this has a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's more like this. It's at the beginning of the class. There's not quite as much. But basically, it just shows you they've got different video clips that you can watch. They've got a PowerPoint. They've got an animation. They can take you to the textbook, which we might as well go to right now. So by paying Pearson the subscription, you not only have the homework, but you also have access to the book. And so here's the textbook. And so you can read the book, you can look at their examples. They also have hyperlinks in here where you try it. So here's an example that's very much like the question that we were just working on for the homework. And then you can click on that link and basically it gives you practice problems that are very similar to the homework, but this is just practice, so it's not counting towards your grade. Oh yeah, then I went to the book. Go internet, go. Okay, so you can look at their examples, you can read through the book, you can do the, wherever they have little clips. Sometimes they have videos also in here. So this is the You Try It. And then I think, is this one where they have the video? So they also have video explanations built into the book.
To find the slope of a secant line, a line through 2 points on a curve, we need to know the rise, change in y, and the run, change in x. Let h denote the change in x between points P and Q.
Okay.
The value of the run is equal to x.
All right, so that's the multimedia library, the type of different things that they have. Now, if you go to, like I first showed you, the homework, so all of the homework is here. It will also show you on each question how many points you have. So I have 0 points so far. So 0 out of 1, 0 out of 1. And sometimes, you know, it'll give you partial credit. Like if it's a 2-part question, you got the second part right, but not the first part. So it'll show you that right there. Okay, one other thing is there's also quizzes. If you go back to the syllabus, so like I said, every Monday, like Monday, September 4th, there's the first problem set that's due. And then on Mondays when there's not a problem set, then there's going to be a quiz, and that's on the MyMathLab. So if you go over to quizzes and tests, then here are the quizzes. I don't know why I put number 8 first, but anyway, so you would just click on quiz number 1, and the thing with the quizzes are, they are very similar to the homework questions. Like I mentioned, when they make up the homework question, when you open the same question twice, all it's going to do is change the numbers. So for the quizzes, that's how their algorithm is. They just give you basically the same question, but they change the numbers. So you are allowed to use your notes on these quizzes, and you get to take it twice. So if you take the quiz and you say, oh, I only got a 78%, I'm not really happy with that. Fine, you can take it again. And it would be a good idea that you have your notes right there from the first time you took it, so you can improve your grade. And then when I go to upload it from MyMathLab to Canvas, it will show me the better grade. So of course we'll keep the better grade. All right, so that's about it. I just wanted to look over here real quick if there's any other thing to go over. There's a 3x5 card, but basically this is something that we're going to build throughout the semester once we start doing limits and derivatives. So this one is actually left over from last semester, and I thought, well, the rules of calculus don't change, so I might as well leave it there. So eventually we'll go through all of these rules for derivatives and such. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day. Hello, it's me again. I thought that I was done, but there is one other small thing that I wanted to point out. If you're not familiar with Canvas, to turn in assignments, you go over here to assignments. And so this would be for the participation quizzes. You would just click on that. It would take you to the quiz and you just answer the questions. The homework, I upload that from MyMathLab, so you don't have to worry about that. And when it comes to the problem sets, like I said, you need to create a PDF out of your work. Then you would just click on problem set number 1. And right about here, there would be a button for you to say, upload my work. And then you would just upload your PDF, and that would be it. And also, once I grade them, you can go in and I will use my little iPad so that I can actually write on your work and say, yes, this is good. Check this. This 2 squared does not equal 47. Things like that. So take a look at those after they're graded. Also under assignments, there would be, like I said, the problem sets, the quizzes. So also I just upload that from MyMathLab. And the podcast where you actually watch the videos and then upload that. Very similar. You would just create a PDF, click on that, and then once it's live, there would be an upload button. Okay, now I'm really done.